The night hums softly, like a secret waiting to be told. In the stillness between wake and sleep, something ancient stirs. It moves without sound, weaving through shadows, touching every breath. You feel it before you see it, a presence gentle yet infinite. It whispers not with words, but with silence that understands. Dreams begin here, in the quiet where thoughts dissolve and hearts speak. And at the heart of this twilight realm waits Morpheus, the bringer of night visions. He does not come to frighten or command, but to reveal what lies hidden within. Through him, we see our fears transformed into stories, our longings reborn as light. Tonight, we follow him beyond the veil of reason, into the tapestry of the unreal. Every heartbeat draws us deeper, every sigh folds the night around us. There is no path here, only feeling, only surrender. Morpheus waits not in the sky, but in the breath before the dream begins. So close your eyes and listen. The world is fading, and in the fading, something beautiful begins to form. Night has settled across the world, wrapping the city in a soft, invisible hush. Inside a small apartment, Callio lies awake, eyes tracing the faint glow on her ceiling. Sleep will not come. Thoughts move like tides, too heavy, too endless. She turns to the window, where the moon hangs low, pale and patient. A breeze slips through the curtains, cool against her skin, whispering like a secret. The clock ticks, steady and unfeeling, marking each second she remains caught between worlds. She breathes slowly, trying to quiet the noise in her mind, but it grows louder. The hum of the night deepens, as if the air itself is waiting for something to happen. Then, she feels it, a presence, not outside but within, gentle, curious, ancient. Her heartbeat quickens, yet she feels no fear, only wonder. It's as though the darkness itself has turned its gaze upon her. A warmth begins to bloom behind her eyes, spreading like liquid gold through her thoughts. Her room fades, its edges dissolving into soft light and soundless rhythm. She tries to speak, but her voice melts before it can form a word. The air bends, shimmering like heat above a desert, and she knows she's no longer alone. From somewhere deep within that silence, a voice breathes, not heard, but felt. Sleep, it says, a whisper woven with eternity. And just like that, her body surrenders. Her consciousness drifts, light as mist. The world of waking falls away, leaving her weightless and unbound. She stands now, or perhaps floats, upon a surface made of starlight. The sky around her is alive, filled with threads of color that move like slow lightning. Every breath tastes like memory, sweet and unfamiliar. She looks down, and her reflection stares back, not in water, but in air, luminous and soft. Something moves at the edge of vision, a silhouette, tall, still, waiting. It is not threatening, yet its presence fills everything, the space, the air, her mind. She feels drawn toward it, though no word passes between them. Each step she takes changes the world around her. The stars pulse, the light bends. She knows his name without being told. Morpheus, the dream weaver, the bringer of night visions. His face shifts like the surface of a lake, never fixed, always forming and fading. But his eyes are constant, deep as the night itself. Callio feels a calm wash over her, like the tide meeting the shore. Morpheus raises a hand, and the space between them glows with quiet light. A door forms, not solid, but woven from fragments of her own imagination. It opens with no sound, revealing a world beyond reason or memory. He does not speak again. He only nods, as if asking her to choose. Callio breathes in, feeling the air hum within her chest. Then she steps forward, and the dream begins. The door shimmers before her, a threshold of light and memory. Callio hesitates, her breath trembling like a leaf caught between winds. She can feel the pulse of the unknown beyond it, steady, patient, inviting. Then, without understanding why, she steps through. The moment she crosses, gravity forgets her name. The air turns liquid, thick with color that moves like thought. Every step she takes sends ripples through the world, bending light and sound. The ground beneath her feet is soft like woven moonlight. She looks around, and there is no horizon, only endless shades of blue and gold. Shapes drift through the distance, mountains that breathe, rivers that hum softly. The sky shifts, a living canvas that responds to her heartbeat. She realizes this realm is not fixed. It changes with feeling, with memory. A single thought paints a landscape, a single emotion gives it life. She thinks of warmth, and the light grows softer. She remembers loneliness, and the air cools, shimmering with rain. It is both beautiful and fragile, like a dream that knows it will fade. Morpheus appears beside her, silent as shadow. His presence does not disturb the air. It completes it. He walks without leaving footprints, his robe moving like the night itself. "Where am I?" Callio whispers, though she already knows the answer. "In between," his voice murmurs, calm as a lullaby. "Between waking and sleep, between what is and what might be." She turns, watching the world breathe around her, each blink birthing new visions. A forest unfurls in the distance, its leaves made of glass and light. A river of memories flows beside them, reflecting not faces but feelings. She kneels beside the water, watching it shift through colors of remembrance. There, her childhood laughter, her mother's hand, her first dream of flight, everything she has ever felt, drifting through time's reflection. "This is mine?" she asks, her voice trembling with awe. "Yours," Morpheus replies, "and yet everyone's." He gestures, and the world folds gently, revealing pathways of light. Dreams borrow from one another. No dream stands alone. Callio feels the truth in his words, deep as the pull of gravity. Every joy, every sorrow, every forgotten hope, they are threads in the same tapestry. She walks along the glowing paths, watching the patterns shift beneath her feet. Each step sings, a tone of her own memory blending into countless others. It feels infinite, and yet deeply personal, as if the cosmos itself is listening. She feels lighter, unbound by time or body, only presence and awareness. "This place," she murmurs, "it feels alive." "It is," Morpheus answers, "for every dream breathes with the soul that creates it." They stop before a vast archway of starlight, trembling like the edge of a heartbeat. "Beyond this," he says, "lies what you seek, though you may not know it yet." Callio looks up, the light painting her face with wonder. The dream hums softly around her, waiting for her choice. And when she takes her next step, the realm shifts again, becoming her own creation. The air ripples with quiet light as Callio steps beyond the archway. The dream around her rearranges itself, as if welcoming her deeper within. Here, the colors move slower, thicker, glowing like embers beneath the sea. The ground beneath her is made of reflections, endless and alive. She senses a pulse in the air, steady and rhythmic, like the beating of a great heart. Then she sees him, Morpheus, standing at the center of the shifting world. His form is fluid, built of smoke and silver, yet his presence feels solid as truth. Around him, fragments of dreams orbit like stars. Faces, symbols, voices half remembered. He raises his hand and the fragments stop, hovering in the air between them. "This is what I weave," he says softly, "the language of the sleeping soul." Callio watches as each fragment glows brighter, revealing pieces of stories untold. A sailor dreaming of home, a child chasing a sun that never sets, a woman standing in a field of stars, speaking to a version of herself she never met. Each dream is a breath, a pulse, a living spark in the great tapestry of night. Morpheus moves his fingers gently, and the fragments twist together, forming images anew. Mountains rise, cities bloom, oceans whisper in 1,000 tongues. His touch is not command, it is invitation. He does not create, he guides creation itself. "The dream is not mine," he murmurs. "It is born from you, from all who dare to close their eyes." Callio steps closer, feeling the hum of energy around him. It isn't power that radiates, it's purpose, the quiet dignity of something eternal. She realizes then that Morpheus is less a god and more a listener. He listens to the heartbeats of every sleeper, translating emotion into vision. She whispers, "You see everything, don't you?" His gaze meets hers, infinite and kind. "Not everything, only what is shared." He gestures to the floating fragments once more, now swirling in slow orbit. Every dreamer offers me a truth, he says, a piece of what it means to be alive. Callio watches a fragment drift past her, a child's laughter, echoing into nothing. It touches her shoulder, and warmth spreads through her body. Memories she never lived flicker behind her eyes, and she feels tears form without sadness. What happens to them when we wake? She asks quietly. Morpheus turns to the horizon, where the fabric of the world trembles like silk in wind. They return, he says. Not gone, only resting, waiting for the next breath of night. She nods, her heart aching with understanding she cannot name. Morpheus lowers his hand and the fragments dissolve, scattering like fireflies. For a moment, the silence between them feels sacred. Then he speaks again, his voice softer than before. Would you like to see your own? Her breath catches. My own dream? He smiles faintly. No, the dream that dreams you. The world folds inward, the stars spinning faster. Light wraps around her, and the ground beneath her vanishes. She closes her eyes, and everything becomes motion and heartbeat. When she opens them again, she stands in a place that feels achingly familiar. And somewhere behind her, Morpheus whispers, Now you will understand. The air shifts, and Callio finds herself standing in a place she almost remembers. The sky glows with the soft hue of dawn, though no sun hangs above. Around her stretches a landscape woven from memories, fragile, luminous, alive. The scent of rain drifts through the air, and somewhere, laughter echoes faintly. Morpheus stands beside her, his expression unreadable, calm as the horizon. This, he says, is your first vision. Callio turns slowly, eyes wide, heart trembling with recognition she cannot explain. The world is built of her own past, yet everything feels lighter, dreamlike, redeemed. She sees a small garden, a wooden swing hanging from a tree that no longer exists. A child sits upon it, herself long ago, hair wild, laughter bright as wind chimes. Callio takes a step forward, her throat tightening. I remember this. Morpheus nods. You remember the event, but this is not the same. He gestures, and the scene deepens. The colors pulse with the rhythm of feeling. This is how it felt, not how it was. The air hums with emotion, innocence, safety, the weightless joy of being unbroken. She watches her younger self reach for the sky, her fingers grazing sunlight made of sound. Then the scene shifts. The swing slows, the laughter fades into stillness. The child looks up and her eyes meet Callio's. For a moment time dissolves, and she is both observer and observed. Morpheus's voice flows gently beside her. Dreams are truth in disguise. They do not replay life, they reveal what life could never show you. The child smiles, a knowing smile, and the world bends again. Now she stands in a room filled with fading light, a window open to the sea. Her teenage self leans against the frame, eyes lost somewhere far beyond the horizon. Loneliness fills the space like fog, soft but inescapable. Callio reaches out, instinctively wanting to comfort that forgotten version of herself, but Morpheus shakes his head. You cannot change the past, you can only feel it fully. The younger Callio whispers to the wind, though her words are soundless. Still, their meaning reaches through the silence. Why am I not enough? Tears sting her eyes. She looks to Morpheus, but he only watches, his gaze patient. This, he says softly, is the weight of memory unhealed. But even pain has beauty when seen through the dream's light. The world begins to glow once more, the ocean turning gold, the loneliness dissolving. Her younger self fades into warmth, leaving behind only peace. Callio breathes in, the air thick with meaning. I never knew dreams could forgive. They do not forgive, Morpheus answers. They remind. He lifts his hand, and the sea becomes sky, the horizon folding into endless light. Every moment she's lived, joy, fear, love, swirls around her, luminous and free. They are you, he whispers, not fragments, wholeness disguised as memory. The world shatters into 1,000 petals of light, each carrying a heartbeat. And as they drift away, Callio feels herself lighter, almost reborn. Morpheus turns to her, eyes glowing like twilight. Now, you are ready to see beyond. The light fades into twilight once more, and Callio finds herself walking beside Morpheus. They move through a corridor of stars where silence hums with distant dreams. Each step opens another vision, 1,000 whispers echoing from slumbering minds. Ahead lies a vast hall, infinite and gentle, filled with floating lights like lanterns. This is the realm of sleepers, Morpheus says, his tone a soft vibration in the air. Every soul that dreams passes through here, even for a moment. The lanterns sway slowly, glowing with hues that shift between memory and desire. Each one beats faintly, pulsing to a hidden rhythm, heartbeats of those who dream. Callio stops, captivated. They're alive. They are fragments of consciousness, Morpheus replies. Each light holds a world. He gestures, and a lantern drifts closer, hovering just above her hands. When she touches it, warmth spills into her palms, followed by the sound of laughter. Images unfold, an old man walking through a forest of gold leaves, smiling in peace. The scene fades into another, a young woman running toward the sea, her joy boundless. These are dreams of rest, Morpheus murmurs, the gentle kind that heal. He points farther into the hall, where some lanterns flicker unevenly, dim and restless. And those? Callio asks softly. Dreams burdened by fear, he says. They tremble, but still shine. She watches as faint shadows ripple across the dimmer lights, dancing like smoke. Even in darkness, Morpheus adds, dreams remember their light. They continue walking, the hall stretching endlessly, its ceiling lost in the shimmer of stars. Callio senses millions of stories drifting above her. Hope, regret, longing, joy. It feels sacred, as if she's standing inside the beating heart of humanity itself. Do you watch them all? She asks. I listen, Morpheus answers. Each dream is a voice. My task is not to command, but to care. He pauses, glancing toward her. Dreams are fragile. They carry more truth than waking minds can bear. Callio's gaze follows a light that fades and reignites. What happens when they're lost? Morpheus' expression softens. No dream is ever lost. Some simply rest longer than others. She nods, comforted by the thought, even as a quiet sadness lingers in her chest. Around them, the lanterns begin to rise higher, forming constellations above their heads. Every flicker feels like a heartbeat, every glow a whispered story still unfolding. This place, she breathes, it's alive with every dream ever dreamed. Morpheus smiles faintly. And with every dream yet to come. For a long while, they stand in silence, surrounded by the music of unseen lives. Callio closes her eyes, feeling the hum of dreams pulse through her skin. It's warmth, sorrow, wonder, all at once, flowing through her like a tide. She opens her eyes again, and the hall seems brighter, as though it too is breathing. Morpheus turns toward a distant light, larger and slower than the rest. There, he says, the dream that connects them all. As they walk toward it, the stars bend closer, and the air trembles with anticipation. Something vast and beautiful awaits beyond that final glow. The great light ahead flickers, as if aware of their approach. The glow is calm at first, steady as a heartbeat, then it trembles. Callio feels a shift in the air, a tremor of unease rippling through the realm of sleepers. One of the lanterns nearby shatters silently, spilling its light into the dark. The fragments scatter like sparks before swirling together into a shape that breathes. A dream, wild and untethered, has escaped. Morpheus raises his hand slightly, his gaze focused and serene. The thing before them is not a nightmare, yet its form carries tension and unrest. It flickers through images, a storm, a door slamming, a face half remembered and weeping. Callio steps back, her voice low. What is it? A dream that lost its balance, Morpheus replies, born from fear, left without meaning. The dream twists, color bleeding into smoke, then into light again. It seems to be searching, confused, desperate to become something whole. Morpheus moves closer, each step echoing softly through the shimmering hall. He doesn't reach to capture it. Instead, he opens his hand, letting the air hum with his calm. You are not broken, he says gently. You are simply unfinished. The words ripple through the dream like wind across still water. Its frantic motion slows, the flickering light turning steady and soft. Callio watches, awe filling her chest. You didn't stop it. You spoke to it. Morpheus turns slightly, his expression almost human in its gentleness. Dreams are not enemies to be conquered, he says. They are emotions seeking form. The dream begins to reshape itself, light gathering into a single floating sphere. Its color shifts from gray to deep blue, from chaos to calm. A melody rises, low and haunting, but beautiful. It drifts upward, rejoining the constellation of sleeping lights above them. Even fear can become music, Morpheus whispers, if you let it sing. Callio closes her eyes, feeling the truth of it move through her body like a wave. She remembers her own restless nights, the fears that never found words. How many dreams like that exist? She asks quietly. Countless, Morpheus replies. They are the shadows cast by light itself. He looks upward, his voice steady. Without them, the dream realm would collapse. The hall glows faintly, every lantern pulsing as if in agreement. Even the darkest vision has purpose, he continues. It teaches the heart to understand. Callio nods slowly, her fear dissolving into quiet reverence. The world around them begins to shift again, the lights drifting higher, the air brighter. She glances at Morpheus. You don't control them, do you? He smiles faintly. No, I listen, and they learn to listen back. For a moment, everything is still. The hall breathes. The stars seem to sigh. Then the great light ahead steadies, its pulse now slow and calm. The escaped dream has found its place once more. Morpheus lowers his hand, turning to her. Come, he says softly. The lesson continues. Callio follows him into the shimmering distance, the echoes of that melody still lingering. The shimmering hall fades behind them as Callio and Morpheus step into silence. The new space is vast, weightless, and filled with a faint silver mist. Shapes drift in the distance, half-formed memories, dissolving as soon as they are seen. Morpheus stops before a still lake that mirrors the stars above, though no stars exist here. This, he says, is the place of forgetting. Callio looks down into the reflection and sees herself, blurred and fading at the edges. Her voice trembles. Why does everything disappear when we wake? Morpheus kneels by the lake, his fingers grazing its surface without a ripple. Because memory is heavy, he answers, and dreams are not meant to carry it. The air hums with his words, soft and resonant, like distant bells. What you forget, he continues, is not lost. It returns to the quiet, beneath thought. Callio watches the water swirl, each movement revealing images from countless dreams, faces, places, laughter, all flowing into the current of time's deeper rhythm. She kneels beside him, mesmerized. So we never truly lose them? He smiles faintly. Nothing truly fades, it only changes its shape. The mist thickens and whispers rise from the lake, voices gentle, almost familiar. They sound like her own thoughts, the kind she hears right before sleep. What are they saying? She asks softly. They are your forgotten dreams, Morpheus replies, fragments of you that the waking world rejected. Callio listens closer, catching echoes of long-lost feelings, curiosity, wonder, peace. A strange comfort fills her, as though the forgotten pieces are embracing her from within. Then why do we wake at all? She whispers. Why not stay where everything is whole? Morpheus looks at her, eyes filled with quiet understanding. Because wholeness does not exist in stillness, he says. It lives in motion, in return. The dream gives you what you need, but waking teaches you why you needed it. She gazes into the lake again and sees a reflection not of herself, but of a child's drawing. A sun, a home, a name written in clumsy lines, something she drew once and forgot. Tears rise unbidden, soft and clean. I thought I'd lost this. You only set it down, Morpheus says gently, so you could grow lighter. He rises and the mist begins to part, revealing a faint golden path beyond the lake. The gift of forgetting is mercy, he says. It allows you to dream again. Callio stands, her reflection shimmering beneath her feet, slowly fading away. The whispers fade into silence, leaving a stillness both empty and full. She turns to Morpheus, feeling a quiet peace settle over her heart. Then memory, she says softly, is just another kind of dream. Morpheus inclines his head. And every dream, he replies, is a way to remember what truly matters. Together they step onto the golden path, the mist closing gently behind them. And as they walk, Callio feels lighter, like a soul returning home to itself. The golden path stretches before them, endless and soft beneath their feet. It glows with a quiet rhythm, as if it breathes in time with their hearts. The mist thins, revealing a horizon that bends like glass, rippling with colors unseen. Morpheus walks ahead, silent, yet his presence fills the air like music unspoken. Callio follows, her thoughts stirring with new questions she can no longer silence. After a while she speaks, her voice gentle but searching. Morpheus, do you ever dream? He slows, turning his gaze toward her, and for a moment, his eyes hold galaxies. Dreams are the voices of mortals, he says. Yet, even gods are not beyond their call. She tilts her head. Then what do you dream of? He smiles faintly, as if at a memory too vast to hold. I dream of silence that remembers. They walk in quiet, the air shimmering with a low hum, as if listening to their thoughts. Callio feels a question rising in her chest, heavy and human. Why me? Morpheus glances at her, his expression unreadable, but his tone softens. Because you listen, he says, and few among the waking do. His words linger in her mind, wrapping around her like invisible thread. What if I fail to understand? She asks quietly. Then the dream will teach you again, Morpheus answers. It is patient. The path curves gently upward, leading them to a place where light pools like water. Above them, vast shapes drift, dreams yet to be born, glowing in colors beyond comprehension. Callio gazes in wonder. They're waiting. Yes, he says, waiting for a dreamer to give them meaning. He gestures to the nearest shape, a flickering orb, pulsing with faint light. Every dream begins as a question, he says. It waits for a heart brave enough to answer. Callio reaches toward the orb, feeling its warmth brush against her fingers. The sensation fills her with something beyond words, a longing, a memory, a promise. What does it want, she whispers. To become, Morpheus replies, as all things do. The orb trembles, then dissolves into thousands of fragments, swirling around her like dust. They merge into visions, faces she's never seen, laughter she's never heard, skies she's never known. Her heart races, yet she feels no fear, only recognition, deep and pure. This isn't just my dream, she breathes. It's everyone's. Morpheus nods. Dreams are born from the collective pulse of being. They bind the living to what cannot be seen. He turns to her, his voice lowering like dusk. Tell me, Callio, what do you dream? She hesitates. I don't know. He steps closer. Then find out. The dreamer is not a passenger. She is the creator. His words strike something within her, a realization, gentle yet immense. For the first time she feels the dream shifting around her, not because of him but her will. The colors move to her breath, the air bends to her thought. Morpheus smiles, a faint curve of infinite knowing. Now you begin to see. The golden path dissolves, replaced by a horizon of her own making, vast, alive, unending. And for the first time, Callio feels the truth of it. She, too, is a dream weaving itself awake. The horizon bends and folds like silk as Callio walks deeper into her own creation. Each step she takes leaves ripples of light that hum softly beneath her feet. The air feels different now, alive, aware, echoing her heartbeat. Morpheus follows behind, silent, his form fading like the last trace of twilight. Callio turns back once, sensing his distance. Are you leaving me? His voice is calm, like wind across still water. I was never here to stay. She looks around, the dream changing in response to her fear. Skies twist, shadows bloom. The world trembles as if holding its breath. Do not fear the shifting, Morpheus says. Dreams move as you move. But what if I lose control, she whispers. Then lose it, he replies, and find what remains when control fades. His words sink deep, settling like seeds beneath the soil of her thoughts. Callio closes her eyes and breathes. The trembling slows, the light steadies. When she opens them again, she stands at the edge of a great plain of glass. Beneath it flows a river of light, winding endlessly through layers of reflection. She kneels and touches the glass, seeing herself in infinite forms: child, woman, dreamer. Each reflection whispers something different, voices blending like waves in song. Morpheus's reflection stands beside her, though his real form is gone. Every dreamer faces their reflection, his echo says. The dream reveals, never hides. Callio gazes deeper, drawn to a version of herself that looks both older and freer. This reflection smiles. You know why you came here, she hesitates. To find meaning? The reflection shakes its head gently. To remember what you are when you stop seeking meaning. The words ripple through her, dissolving thought into stillness. She stands and looks around. The plain of glass becomes ocean, the sky becomes dawn. Light spills across the horizon, golden and calm, as if the world exhales relief. Morpheus's voice echoes once more, softer now. Dreams are not answers, Callio. They are invitations. She whispers to the wind. An invitation to what? To be, comes the faint reply. Silence follows, not empty, but full of quiet understanding. She walks toward the rising light, her steps sure, her heart steady. The dream reshapes itself, fields of stars, a forest of memory, a sea that glows with song. Each vision flows into the next, seamless, alive, becoming part of her instead of beyond her. For the first time, she feels no boundary between the dream and herself. She is the dream, the motion, the thought, the stillness between breaths. Her fear dissolves, replaced by awe, simple and profound. I understand, she whispers. The dream was never apart from me. From somewhere beyond, Morpheus's voice fades like dusk. And now, you awaken. The horizon bursts with light, infinite and kind. She closes her eyes, not to escape, but to return, carrying the dream within her. And as the brightness envelops her, the dreamer and the dream become one. The world of dreams fades slowly, like dawn lifting its veil from a sleeping valley. Callio wakes to the quiet rhythm of her own breath, warm sunlight on her face. For a moment, she doesn't move. Boundary between dream and waking feels thin, fragile. She remembers the river of light, the whispering reflections, the gentle voice of Morpheus. It all feels close, like a song still echoing in her chest. When she opens her eyes, the room is simple. Just her, a window, and morning unfolding beyond. The world hums softly, alive with details she had forgotten to notice. Dust motes dance like tiny stars. The breeze smells of rain and soil and something ancient. Callio sits up slowly, her mind quiet but alert, as if carrying a new kind of silence. She recalls Morpheus's last words. The dream was never apart from you. Her heart answers them in stillness, in understanding deeper than thought. She walks to the window and gazes at the sky, pale blue and limitless. For a heartbeat, she sees it shimmer just faintly, like the dream still watches her. She smiles, not in disbelief, but in gratitude. The dream has changed her, not by showing her visions, but by awakening what she already carried. Morpheus had said that dreams are invitations, and now she knows what he meant. Each morning is an invitation, each breath a thread woven back into the great tapestry. She whispers softly to herself, "We never truly wake. We only remember." Her voice carries gently into the air, joining the quiet hum of the world. Outside, the wind stirs the leaves, and for a moment, she swears she hears his tone in it. "Morpheus," she murmurs, smiling, "bringer of night visions, keeper of forgotten things." The name feels sacred now, not as a myth, but as a truth hidden in every dreamer's heart. She closes her eyes again, not to sleep, but to listen, to the pulse between worlds. In that stillness she senses something, a familiar presence, calm and eternal, a whisper, soft as moonlight. The dream continues. Callio. She breathes in, steady and full, her spirit neither waking nor dreaming, but both. The sunlight touches her cheek, golden and kind. And in that quiet space between moments, she understands the cycle, endless, gentle, true. Every dream returns to its source. Every waking carries its echo. Morpheus does not vanish. He lingers in every spark of imagination, every sigh before sleep. The dreamer's realm is never gone. It lives within the heart that dares to wonder. Callio steps back from the window, a faint smile still on her lips. Her day begins, yet it feels like continuation, not beginning. She carries the weightless wisdom of the night within her, folded between thoughts. And somewhere beyond the veil, a realm of silver mist and shifting stars, Morpheus watches. Not as a god, but as a whisper, gentle, eternal, waiting for the next dream to be born. The light deepens, the world breathes, and once more the cycle begins. Where waking ends, the dream begins anew.